Mark, it's incredible. Even in the Rocky Mountains, you just can't get away from the topic of Greece. And everybody's trying to figure out, yes, this is a country that is 2% of the Eurozone economy. It is an economy the size of the state of Oregon. Why should we really care? Well, the question is, nobody knows what's going on. Number one, the Greek people don't know what they're voting on. And nobody knows really what the market fallout could be.
And it's interesting because, you know, some of the interviews with Greek officials, Eric interviewed the mayor of Athens earlier this week. Today, our Guy Johnson interviewing the finance minister, Yanis Varoufakis, and Mr. Varoufakis saying that if people vote yes in this referendum coming up this weekend, that he will resign. And that seems to be the call from some in Greece, that if the government does not get its way, it's been encouraging, the Prime Minister Tsipras anyway, has been encouraging people to vote no, that if the no vote fails, will the Tsipras government resign? Will there be snap elections?
Right.
Will they try to get new blood in?
It's hard to see how Alexis Tsipras hangs on. Doesn't he lose
It's very
legitimacy?
hard to see that,
I mean, the whole question of whether or not the referendum in and of itself has legitimacy is another topic, and a curious one. You know, the last time Greece actually held a referendum, I believe, was in the 1940s when the Greek people were asked, do you want a king or a republic? That's a pretty clear-cut question, which probably people had established positions on. People don't know what they're voting on. When Eric and Guy talk to people in the streets of Athens, they say, I'm voting to stay in the euro. That's not really on the table.
That's not, and Eric has been key in pointing this out. Do the Greek people really understand what they will be voting on come Sunday? And it seems that a lot of them don't. There have been a lot of mixed messages. But what seems to keep getting lost in all of this is the suffering of the Greek people. They have suffered mightily for years under mismanagement, under graft, under corruption, a pension system that clearly needs reform and clearly is not sustainable. So aside from how the outcome of the vote goes on Sunday, there are massive structural reforms that need to be undertaken for Greece to get back in the good graces, not of the Eurozone, but of the international investment community, because they're still wary about what's going on.
And as you say, a very serious humanitarian toll in the meantime. All right, Mark, hang on.
Those pictures are awful. They're heartbreaking when you see the pensioners lining up outside the banks and they can only get X amount of dollars. And as some of our guests have been pointing out, you have whole families, some of which are living off of grandma and grandpa's pensions because of the situation there. It's heartbreaking.